The morning air bit at her skin as Emily pedaled furiously through the quiet city streets, her worn-out sneakers pressing hard against the creaking pedals of her old bike. Her heart thundered in her chest, not just from the exertion of the ride but from the weight of what lay ahead. Today was her one shot, her only chance to change the trajectory of her life. The job interview at Horizon Enterprises, a prestigious tech firm, was more than just a potential paycheck, it was a lifeline. Rent was overdue, her fridge was nearly empty, and her bank account was a painful reminder of how close she was to the edge. Failure wasn't an option, but the stakes felt impossibly high. Her bike, a rusty relic from her college days, squeaked with every turn of the chain, but Emily didn't care. She had exactly 25 minutes to reach the sleek glass tower that housed Horizon's headquarters, and she couldn't afford to be late. Her hands gripped the handlebars tightly, knuckles whitening as she wove through early morning traffic. She had spent weeks preparing for this moment, rehearsing answers in front of her cracked bathroom mirror, memorizing the company's mission statement, and piecing together an outfit that looked professional despite being bought secondhand. This interview was her chance to break free from the cycle of scraping by, of living paycheck to paycheck, of wondering if she'd ever escape the shadow of her past. As she approached a busy intersection, the traffic light flipped to red, forcing her to skid to a stop. Her breath came in sharp bursts, her chest heaving as she tapped her foot impatiently against the pavement. That's when she noticed the car beside her, a sleek, black Rolls-Royce, its polished exterior gleaming under the pale morning sun. The tinted window rolled down with a soft hum, and Emily felt a prickling sensation, as if someone were watching her. She turned her head, and her breath caught. A man sat in the driver's seat, his piercing gaze locked onto her. He was in his early 30s, with dark hair neatly styled and a strong jawline that exuded quiet authority. His tailored suit, pristine and expensive, was a stark contrast to her faded blouse and slightly wrinkled skirt. His eyes, sharp and unreadable, seemed to see straight through her, as if he were studying every detail of her existence. Unnerved, Emily quickly looked away, her cheeks warming with self-consciousness. She didn't belong in the same world as a man like that, and she had no time for distractions. The light turned green, and she pushed forward, pedaling harder to shake the strange feeling that lingered. Her focus was singular: get to the interview, nail it, and secure the job. But as she sped toward the towering glass building in the distance, she couldn't shake the sense that those eyes were still on her. Emily locked her bike to a pole outside Horizon Enterprises, her chest rising and falling rapidly as she caught her breath. She smoothed her blouse, wiped a sheen of sweat from her forehead, and took a deep breath to steady her nerves. The building loomed above her, its reflective surface a symbol of everything she wasn't: polished, perfect, untouchable. Inside, the lobby was a world apart from the gritty streets she'd just navigated. Marble floors gleamed under soft lighting, and the air carried the faint scent of expensive cologne and freshly brewed coffee. Employees in tailored suits moved with purpose, their heels clicking against the floor. Emily felt small, her simple outfit a glaring reminder of the gap between her and this world. She approached the receptionist, a woman with perfectly styled blonde hair who barely looked up from her computer. "I have an interview scheduled for 10 o'clock, Emily said, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. "Name?" the receptionist asked, her tone clipped. "Emily Carter." The woman tapped her keyboard, then nodded. "Take the elevator to the 20th floor. Someone will meet you there." Muttering a quick thank you, Emily headed toward the sleek elevators. Her reflection stared back at her in the polished metal doors, tired eyes, determined expression, a faint smudge of dirt on her cheek from the ride. She wiped it away, squared her shoulders, and stepped inside. The ride to the 20th floor felt endless, each ding of the elevator tightening the coil of anxiety in her chest. When the doors finally opened, a woman in a navy suit greeted her with a polite smile. "Follow me," the woman said. "The director will see you now." Emily's stomach twisted. This was it. She followed the woman down a quiet hallway lined with glass-walled offices, her sneakers silent against the carpet. The office she was led to was massive, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a breathtaking view of the city skyline. Behind a polished wooden desk sat a man she recognized instantly, the same man from the Rolls-Royce. Her breath caught, her mind racing. What was he doing here? He leaned forward slightly, his piercing gaze locking onto hers with an intensity that made her heart stutter. "It's nice to finally meet you, Ms. Carter," he said, his voice smooth yet commanding. Emily tried to mask her shock, but her thoughts were a whirlwind. Why was he acting as if he'd been expecting her? She clutched the strap of her worn-out bag, forcing herself to stay composed. I wasn't expecting you, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. His lips curled into a faint smile, as if her honesty amused him. Please, have a seat. She hesitated, then lowered herself into the plush leather chair across from him, her back rigid. This wasn't the hiring manager she'd prepared to meet. This wasn't even a panel of executives. This was the man who had watched her at the traffic light, whose car screamed wealth and power. And now he was here, sitting across from her, his presence filling the room. You must be wondering why I'm conducting this interview, he said, his tone measured. He leaned back, fingers steepled together. I'm Alexander Kane, CEO of Horizon Enterprises. I like to take a personal interest in certain candidates. Certain candidates. The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning Emily couldn't quite decipher. She nodded slowly, her throat dry. I was expecting someone from HR, she said, her voice steadier now. Kane's smile widened slightly. I've reviewed your application, he said, flipping open a folder on his desk. High grades, strong recommendations, but limited corporate experience. Correct. Her stomach clenched. She knew her lack of experience was her Achilles heel. She'd excelled in school, worked multiple jobs to pay her way through college, but corporate internships had been out of reach. Yes, she admitted, but I learned fast. I'm not afraid of hard work. He studied her for a long moment, his gaze unrelenting. I don't doubt that, he said, his tone unreadable. Then, leaning forward, he asked, tell me, Ms. Carter, why didn't you take a taxi or a bus today? The question caught her off guard. Of all the things he could have asked, her skills, her goals, her qualifications, why this? Her pulse quickened as she searched for an answer. I couldn't afford a taxi, she said honestly, her voice steady despite the vulnerability of the admission. And the bus schedule would have made me late. I didn't want to risk it, so I took my bike. Kane's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes, interest, perhaps, or calculation. He tapped his fingers against the desk. Interesting, he murmured. A tense silence settled between them, and Emily felt as though she were being dissected, her every word and movement analyzed. I admire that, he said finally. Most people would have made excuses, blamed the system, their circumstances. But you found a way, even if it was difficult. Emily held his gaze, unsure how to respond. Was this a test? A mind game? I don't make excuses, she said. I do what I have to do. His lips curved into the faintest smile, the first real sign of warmth she'd seen from him. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. Her breath caught. Was she impressing him? She couldn't tell, but his next words shook her to her core. This company doesn't just look for intelligence or qualifications, he said. We look for resilience, people who don't crumble under pressure, who adapt, who find solutions when the odds are against them. She nodded, her mind racing to keep up. Then he leaned forward, his gaze sharp and unwavering. If I offered you something bigger than this job, something that could change your life, would you take it? Her stomach flipped. Bigger, she echoed, her voice barely audible. What do you mean? Kane studied her for a long moment, as if weighing how much to reveal. I've met countless people in my career, he said. Graduates from Ivy League schools, people with perfect resumes. But most of them lack one thing, drive. Real, relentless drive. They wait for opportunities to be handed to them. But you rode a bike across the city to get here. That tells me something important. You don't wait for opportunities. You create them. Emily's heart pounded in her ears. Was he saying her decision to ride her bike had impressed him this much? It hadn't been a choice born of ambition, it was necessity, plain and simple. Yet now it felt like it meant something more. I appreciate that, she said carefully, but I still don't understand what you're offering. Kane smiled, a real smile this time, one that softened the sharp edges of his demeanor. I want to mentor you, he said. Not just for this job, but for something bigger. Something that could put you in a position to change your future in ways you've never imagined. Her breath caught. Mentor her. Why her? She was nobody, just a 24-year-old with a degree, a mountain of debt, and a bike that barely worked. Why me? She asked, unable to stop herself. Because I trust my instincts, Kane said. And my instincts tell me you're different. You have something most people don't. If you're willing to take a risk, I'm willing to help you build something extraordinary. The air crackled with tension. Emily felt as though she were standing at the edge of a precipice, staring into a future she couldn't yet comprehend. A moment ago, she'd been a nervous job applicant, hoping for a chance to prove herself. Now, she was being offered something far greater, an opportunity that could redefine her life. I don't know what to say, she admitted, her voice trembling slightly. You don't have to say anything yet, Kane said. But I need to know if you're ready to work harder than you ever have before. This won't be easy. It will push you beyond what you think you're capable of. Emily's mind spun. She thought of the nights she'd stayed up studying under flickering lights, the jobs she'd worked to pay for school, the sacrifices she'd made to get to this moment. She'd never had anything handed to her, and now she was being offered a chance, a real chance. But was it too good to be true? What exactly would I be doing? She asked, her voice steadier now. For now, you'll work closely with me, Kane said. I want to see how you handle real-world situations, how you think under pressure. If you prove yourself, I'll open doors for you that most people spend a lifetime knocking on. His words stirred something deep within her. This wasn't a man who made empty promises. He had no reason to offer her this unless he truly saw something in her. She took a deep breath, her hands steadying on the arms of the chair. I'm not afraid of hard work, she said. I just need to know this is real. That it's not some test. Kane's expression softened. I don't play games, he said. And I don't waste my time on people who aren't serious. If you accept, I expect you to give it everything you have. If you're not ready, I won't hold it against you, but this opportunity won't come again. Her heart pounded. She thought of all the moments she'd wished for a break, for someone to see her potential and give her a chance. Now it was here, staring her in the face. Could she walk away from this? I want this, she said finally, her voice firm. I don't know where it'll lead, but I'm willing to find out. A slow smile spread across Kane's face. Then let's begin. A lesson from the story. Life doesn't always present opportunities in the way we expect. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges, wrapped in moments of struggle or uncertainty. Emily's story is a testament to the power of resilience and determination. She didn't have wealth, connections, or privilege, but she had something far more valuable, the drive to keep going, no matter the odds. Success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances. It's about taking what you have, whether it's a rusty bike or a flicker of hope, and using it to move forward. The most successful people aren't those who have everything handed to them, they're the ones who refuse to let their circumstances define them. They push through setbacks, learn from failures, and create their own opportunities. Hard work will always outshine talent when talent doesn't work hard. Struggles aren't meant to break you, they're meant to shape you, to build the resilience you need to seize the opportunities that come your way. Every hardship is a lesson, every setback a chance to grow stronger. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone toward it. So when life feels overwhelming, when the road seems too long, and when every fiber of your being wants to give up, remember why you started. Keep going. Keep pushing. One day, you'll look back and realize that every struggle was worth it, not because it led you to the top, but because it proved you were strong enough to get there.